Hey guys, welcome into another edition of Sports Extra. I'm Andy Mack. These next couple of games in St. Louis will be the gateway to the next round of the playoffs for the Wild. In Game 2, Minnesota finally figured out a way to beat the Blues in that 6-2 victory to even up the series. Going into Game 3 tonight on the road, the Wild certainly can take command. Just like earlier this season, I had a brush with one very unique Twins fan on a not-so-picture-perfect night at Target Field. I'm going to have to hang that up in the sports office. It's a show within the show when Kickley breaks out the paints and paper. The local artist illustrated 83 paintings over the course of 12 days at the Minnesota State Fair last summer. Now he's turning his attention to the Twins, and his art tells a story with every stroke.
Just a cheap, unnecessary shot, right, Andy?
It was totally unnecessary, totally avoidable, and obviously this is a sight no Minnesota Wild fans wants to see. Wild head coach Dean Evason killed the hit, quote, predatorial. Kirill Kaprizov will miss Minnesota's game on Saturday with Washington with what's being called an upper body injury. But the forward is also being evaluated further today. It happened midway through the second period last night in Boston. Kirill Kaprizov took this blindsided check from Trent Frederick of the Bruins.
Tonight, the Vikings did not make us wait to feel the pain. It was quick and decisive. Welcome to the Vikings Extra with Andy Mack. I am Dave Schwartz.
Well said, Dave. Well, the Vikings' playoff hopes are history, and well, head coach Mike Zimmer might be as well after this lackluster performance at Lambeau Field. Minnesota officially eliminated tonight, while the Packers, they earned home field advantage throughout in that first round bye with the victory. Late last night, we learned that a group that includes former MVP and World Series champion Alex Rodriguez, they're in the process of buying the Timberwolves. Reportedly, the transition from Glenn Taylor to this new ownership group will take several years, and that purchase price is near $1.5 billion. The Wolves, they're back in town tonight just across the street. When Adam Vinatieri hit the game-winning field goal to give Tom Brady his first Super Bowl ring with the Patriots, Kirk Cousins was just hitting, puberty. That was 2002, this 2020. Now, 6 titles later, these two will meet on the field again as the Bucs host the Vikings on Sunday at noon. Well, you may have heard of puck luck. Well, that's puck stuck. Cam Talbot playing so well right now for the Wild. He's making saves with his face. After a shot from the Blues, the puck lodged in his face mask, and they actually had to replace the entire helmet. Yeah, that's how it's going. That's a new one as the Wild looking to keep their franchise best winning streak at home alive. Speaking of road trips, well, Millie is apparently wise beyond her years. Dog years, that is. She's 6-1 predicting the Vikings games this year, and there's another big reason. It's a big week for my Aussie Doodle. Well, Millie, you're 6-1, and this Sunday, it's your birthday. Happy birthday, Millie. All right, the Vikings, they play the Baltimore Ravens on the road. Millie, which ball are you going to pick? Ready, go. Uh-oh. Vikings, take it. Yes, the Vikings. Vikings it is.
How do we know?
She picked the Vikings, Randy. Clearly, she picked the Vikings.
You go with whatever she goes to first, because this happened last time, and then she went to the other. Yeah,
last
the
game was pretty back and forth.
Yeah.
And I'm going to say, alike of Vikings fans, she's going to be drinking some dog beer on Sunday.
Dog
Sounds good, doesn't
It's like a chicken
Not
broth.
really, no. But
Hey guys, Justin Jefferson and Randy Moss are already forever linked. When he wore this shirt pregame, the wideout said, "I'm just trying to be a legend like Moss." But of all the records Justin Jefferson has broken, one thing he doesn't want in those record books, an asterisk. After battling COVID-19 for the second time in the last year, this cat is back on his feet. Karl Anthony Towns returned to the lineup for the Wolves alongside D'Angelo Russell at Target Center tonight. Cat back on the floor saying he needed the game. Wolves certainly need a win against this young OKC team. Second half, Anthony Edwards drains the deep triple for Minnesota. Chef's kiss celebration on a team-high 22 points. Then it's Jalen Noel surging onto the scene during this stretch. He's a perfect 6 for 6 on the night, including this hoop in the arm. He had 16. Wolves win again, 98-90. With the Vikings season all but over, is there really a reason to play Kirk Cousins? As head coach Mike Zimmer might say, not particularly. Still, rookie Kellen Mond, a possible future for Minnesota at quarterback. won't start against the Bears. After missing the game against the Packers, Cousins was activated off that COVID-19 list, and Zimmer says he'll start in this season finale. The quarterback has 1 year left on that contract after the season, and even with so much uncertainty within this organization, Cousins says he isn't focused on the future just yet.
I'm just focused on the Bears on Sunday. I've got a full day today, full day the next few days to get ready for them, and certainly want to be a Minnesota Viking for the rest of my career.
Andy Mack is here right now with an update. Hey, Andy.
Hey, thanks, Chris. Well, in a post on Instagram this evening, Everson Griffen revealed that he's bipolar. The Vikings defensive lineman also said that he hopes to be an advocate for mental health. These were his first public comments since that situation last Wednesday that included a standoff with Griffen and police at his home in Minnetrista. Griffen said in the post that, quote, "I've been running from it for a long time. I'm not ashamed anymore." He continued by saying that he's committed to listening to experts and getting the help that he needs. He also thanked people for their support, and there was a ton of comments from teammates and other players on social media. As for football, Griffen remains on that reserve non-football injury list for the Vikings this season. Back to you.
Extra.
The Mike Zimmer era may be about to exit stage right. For the third time in 4 years, the Vikings will be sitting at home during the playoffs. Yeah, well, a book written about Mike Zimmer's 8 years in Minnesota would be hard to put down. Between the Minneapolis Miracle, Teddy Bridgewater's injury, and emergency eye surgery in the last chapter, may just be a victory over Chicago this afternoon. Welcome into the final edition of Vikings Extra of the season. I'm Andy Mack. Of course, Reggie Wilson is joining us tonight to talk about the Vikings season.
Live to preview tonight's game. Hi, Andy.
Yes, a lot to prove, and thank you. Well, even though the Vikings won't directly say it, everyone that comes into this building tonight knows it's basically a must-win for Minnesota, and that's probably why Dalvin Cook, just 11 days after dislocating his shoulder in that loss to San Francisco, he'll reportedly try to take the field and play for the Vikings. Minnesota, they're 5-7 this year, and they need a victory to just stay afloat in the NFC playoff picture. Hey guys, the Timberwolves can take down their for sale sign, a group that includes Alex Rodriguez, the former baseball player and partner, and billionaire Mark Lowry, are reportedly finalizing details to buy this franchise. T-Wolves, links, and all. Longtime owner Glenn Taylor will transition the franchise over to A-Rod and company in a deal worth roughly $1.5 billion. Hey guys, on this 4th of July, here's a story about the founding fathers and baseball. This great photo from the St. Paul Saints may give a little hint as one of their players has a connection to both. Thank you, Chris. Well, it's another day, another monster move by the Twins. Well, early this morning, the Twins reportedly agreed to sign Carlos Correa to a 3-year, $105 million deal. And at $35 million a year, it's the 4th highest salary in baseball this season. And the contract does reportedly include opt-outs over the first 2 seasons, which gives Minnesota some flexibility as well. Correa certainly has the resume to back up that deal, though. He won the World Series. Hey guys, out here at US Bank Stadium, change feels inevitable between the Vikings and head coach Mike Zimmer. He walked off this field for what could be the final time following that Week 18 win over the Bears. And we don't know any specifics yet, but a decision could come in the next 24 hours. Of course, Zimmer wasn't in the talking mood after the game about his tenure, and he certainly held those emotions in check.
Andy Mack, who's been following all these details for us tonight, he joins us in the studio with more. Hey, Andy.
Hey, thank you, Chris. Well, technically, it is March Madness, and this time it's in the NFL. Captain Kirk Cousins will be keeping that purple on for another season. Minnesota announcing they have agreed to a 1-year extension with the quarterback. Cousins had 1 year left, but reportedly signs for another year at $35 million and a no-trade clause as well. And this certainly solidifies the Vikings' belief in Cousins. Finally catch your breath tonight. Even more huge news. The Twins, they're sending Josh Donaldson and recently acquired Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Yankees for Gary Sanchez, the catcher, and other players. Exhale, Chris. We'll have more coming up in sports. Back to you.
All right, take
Hey guys, like Ric Flair might say, Minnesota sports are wheeling and dealing. Within the last hour, the Twins are now moving Josh Donaldson and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa to the Yankees. The third baseman was a major signing in 2020, but 2 short years later, he's on the move again, along with that $92 million contract. Minnesota will get Gary Sanchez and Gio Urshela. Well, to the delight or disdain of many, there is no in-between with Kirk Cousins, the quarterback, is staying in Minnesota. The Vikings agreed to a one-year extension. Cousins is now under contract for the next 2 seasons and will lessen the burden on that salary cap this season. Cousins said on Twitter, quote, "Now that that's out of the way, let's get to work on a Lombardi," as in a Super Bowl championship. Thanks, Reggie. Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah said the biggest lesson he learned during NFL free agency came from, of all places, his realtor, as the Vikings GM was just outbid for a house in his new home here in Minnesota. And it reminded him of the winner's curse, where it's not about winning the bidding war, but winning the objective of building a successful team. Hey guys, I'm Andy Mack out here at the X. Exactly 1 week ago today, Marc-Andre Fleury was here in Minnesota as an opponent. He looked around and thought, wouldn't it be fun to play in front of this ruckus crowd all the time? Tonight, he gets his wish as he'll make his Wild debut, and it came after a flurry of moves from Minnesota as Minnesota lands one of the best and most experienced goalies in league history. Hey guys, I'm Andy Mack out here from the Target Center, and it was Sweet Carolina. South Carolina was so good tonight in the national title game. They overpowered Paige Beckers and UConn to earn just a little bit going. Down here at the Target Center, obviously South Carolina still partying. Dawn Staley, congrats. As she's the champion, they're celebrating in confetti. Congrats to Dawn Staley and South Carolina. What a win. Hey, thank you, Chris. Well, it might be snowing outside, but tonight it will be raining confetti at Target Center. UConn taking on South Carolina in what's expected to be a battle in the national championship game tonight here at Target Center. Of course, it will be a pro UConn crowd. Of course, because of Paige Beckers, we're expecting about 18,000 people, but don't count out the Gamecocks as they're the top team in the country, and they're also ready for a battle in what's expected to be an instant classic.